Let's make history. So DUMBO is an acronym which means Down Under Manhattan Bridge Overpass. And it's a fairly new invention, quote unquote. Some say the name was invented at a fancy loft party in the late 70s. But what we do know is that it was created as somewhat of a real estate gimmick to attract certain residents to the area. Once the gentrification process began to start, some say the name was created as an ugly name to deter people from moving into the area. But either which way, the name was created for real estate purposes. DUMBO, that area that will become DUMBO over the years, has had several names, most of them unofficial names. In the 1700s, Joshua Sands, who was a member of the House of Representatives, was also a businessman, him and his brother, whose name was Comfort, and he fought in the American Revolutionary War. This was after the war. They got together, joined forces, and they purchased the area that will become Vinegar Hill and DUMBO. They wanted to develop it as a summer getaway zone for rich Manhattanites. Several neighborhoods were created with this in mind. You can check out some of my other videos on this related topic. And so they called the place Olympia. So that was DUMBO's first name. And the Sands brothers is who Sands Street is named after. For the most part, it was considered part of the neighborhood of Vinegar Hill. And Vinegar Hill, oddly enough, got its name the same way that DUMBO acquired its name. During the time, people or developers wanted to shop the area. They wanted to market the area to the new influx of Irish immigrants. So they named it after the Battle of Vinegar Hill, which is during the Irish Revolution of the late 1700s. Then about 100 years after that, it acquired the name Fulton Landing. Because remember, this is before any bridges connected the two worlds of Manhattan and Brooklyn. So there was a ferry service, the Fulton ferry service, and the stop that when it would reach Brooklyn was right in what will become DUMBO. And the name of that stop was Fulton Landing. So they began calling the general area Fulton Landing for some time. However, your average Brooklynite just referred to it as downtown. If you were going to the DUMBO area prior to the 2010s and someone asked you, where were you going? You would simply say downtown. It was seen as an extension of the downtown area, its industrial arm. Back when it was called Fulton Landing during the 1800s, that's when it became a manufacturing hub with all sorts of warehouses. They would manufacture all sorts of items. And one cool fun fact is the cardboard box was invented in one of those warehouses in DUMBO. And so once industrialization left New York City, that's when it became basically like a back alley type of district that you kind of wanted to stay away from. But there were lofts scattered throughout the abandoned warehouses, pricey lofts. Then once gentrification hit, those pricey lofts became even pricier.